Hello mortals, and welcome to Dagoth Reviews, where me, your favorite god, will review games following Nerevar's scripts. If you enjoy listening to me reviewing games, do tell Nerevar in the comments, so that we may continue. So without further ado, let's begin. First on the list is the horror element. As IGN would say about most games not covering their political stance or ideology, a 7 out of 10, it has its moments. The very beginning of the game starts off really well with the eeriness of an abandoned hospital. Another good spooky little moment is when you have to go through what I think is a sewage system. Take the wrong turn and you die. Between those two areas, which are at least an hour away from one another, is your generic facility filled with suspicious substances and monsters, which leaves a lot for the player to wonder what might have caused all of it.
What the hell is that?
Now for the combat, also a 7 out of 10. Normal enemies die in one shot from a fully upgraded handgun, otherwise they take 2 bullets to kill. The bosses, or at least mandatory boss, takes a lot of shots to kill, which is why the arena is filled with explosive barrels. There's very little variety for enemies. It's always those little toe munchers and long arms. And now, for the story. An 8 out of 10. The story of It Reaches follows a police officer trapped within an abandoned facility after a dangerous organism escapes containment. As the player explores, they uncover clues about the experiments conducted there and the events that led to its collapse. Hallucinations and distorted environments blur the line between reality and imagination, creating mystery and tension throughout the game. Now for exploration, It Reaches scores a 5 out of 10 for me. Because there's very little to explore around for, mainly not because it's useless, but because it's desolate. The only reason you have to explore is to find scattered bullets. Other than that, it's sitting at 5 out of 10 because there are 2 rooms that require a code to enter. Upon finding and entering the code, you will find, and I kid you not, an asshole, which each holds an item of sorts that is important to the main character's backstory, which I believe deserves some credit. And now for the atmosphere. Another 7 out of 10. It's very disturbing. It starts off very well and then drops down to halt once you reach your first upgrading station. It then picks up again with the heavy atmosphere when we learn that the main character's child is here. We later learn through recordings that the goo works like a parasite, being able to grow spontaneously and even help other creatures grow. Later on, we find that the person behind all of this created it with the intent of helping his daughter walk again after a tragic event. Now for the sound design, a staggering 10 out of 10. I'm very delighted by it. I loved the sound design. It really made me feel like I was actively involved. I can really say well done to the developers. You've done better than most other AAA studios. Ahem. Ubisoft. Ahem. God. I think snorting moon sugar really left me with a sore throat. Ahem. It's mainly just dynamic sound all around to intensify the horror element. It's not like any traditional game where there has to be a new song every few minutes, which I love because it uses silence as a song and it works well. Overall, for such a short game, it does extremely well in my opinion. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, it just tries applying a new coat of paint. For the first game of a new development team, I say they've done a pretty good job, resulting in reaching a respectable 7 out of 10. I excitedly await your next game, and I hope it'll be longer, and that it'll feature more exploration.